So, if you are one of the 18% shopping this holiday weekend, what products should you buy and what can wait for the next big sale? Joining me now, we've got Adam Davis, who's the Wells Fargo Retail Finance Managing Director, here to break down just that. Okay, so what are the deals that are perhaps worth kicking the tires on or buying into over Memorial Day weekend, Adam?
Yeah, so typically, we're seeing some of the bigger ticket items, appliances, furniture, outdoor, indoor, as well as mattresses. And so those are kind of the big ones. But, what we'll see is retailers will start to sell through spring merchandise. And so you'll start to see some deeper discounts on some of the spring merchandise, in addition to some of those bigger ticket items.
What does that say then about the health of those inventory levels when you're looking at where the retailers are really comfortable slashing prices, clearing through or churning through inventory in order to make sure that they can perhaps be ready for the next wave of orders that they've already placed for later on this year?
Yeah, so it's important, for the retailers to kind of go from season to season. And so what they're doing is getting ready for summer. And, as you are thinking ahead, summer sales, they want to sell as much as possible at full price. And so you'll see some promotions this weekend for summer items, summer apparel. But as you get to the tail end of the summer, you'll see kind of deeper discounts on in-season items as they start to prep for fall and holiday type goods.
Okay.
The extreme would be, think of a snowblower. Right now is a great time to buy a snowblower. If you try to buy one now, it'd be heavily discounted. If you try to buy one after the first snowstorm or during the first snowstorm, it's going to be at a much, it's not going to be heavily discounted because it's in high demand.
So we were just taking a look on screen at what not to buy, perhaps, in this wave of sales that are going to be taking place in the next few days here. And we're looking at things like apparel, electronics, in-season goods. Why is that?
Yeah, so the in-season goods, they're going to be promoted this weekend, but not as heavily as potentially those big ticket items, which historically this is a big weekend for that. I think the other piece being retailers are going to try to clear through kind of that spring merchandise, especially like apparel. I think what you'll see is at the end of the season, that's where heavy discounts will come into play. I think, for grills and outdoor furniture, it's tempted to buy it. It's very tempting to buy now. I think it would be, if you have a specific item that you absolutely have to have, then, kind of shop around, kind of hunt, do some price comparisons. But if you are patient, are able to wait till the tail end of the season, you should be able to see kind of bigger discounts. On the electronic side, you'll see discounts, but what we have historically seen, heavier discounts around July, Black Friday, Amazon Prime Day, and then as you get into the fall with traditional Black Friday and Cyber Monday, those are just heavier discounts for electronics.
Okay, all right. That's some interesting calculus on where not to fall into the pits of the vibe du jour, if you will. Ultimately, as we're kind of considering now for consumers and where they're showing that they do have a little bit of propensity to still spend versus areas that they're saying, I'm gonna pull back. Where is that kind of looming heavy as we go into big sales events to kick off and even throughout the summer?
Yeah, the consumer is still shopping, right? And I think that what we've seen is the first quarter has been relatively muted or quiet. I think the good news is the retailers have gone through multiple waves over the last few years. And so they've been really thoughtful and about their inventory levels and not getting too deep, and supply chain has smoothed out a little bit. So you're not seeing the lumpiness that we've seen over the last few years. So with that, the retailers can kind of push in and pull out as it relates to promotions. Memorial Day weekend is one of the first big sales weekends for all retailers. And so you're going to see most of them participate. I think it's really, are they promoting store-wide, online for everything, or is it very specific targeted items that maybe they're trying to clear out, move, create room for new product, or is that an older generation item that they're looking to then later this year introduce the next generation of?
All right, Adam, I'm quite removed from my days of clipping coupons. However, there are quite a few deals to be had out there, so who knows? I might be picking up a circular. But for those who are looking across some of these deals, how should they be evaluating them, and what are the top tips to save when evaluating all of the different deals in the market?
Yeah, I mean, look, I would say loyalty programs are key. I mean, retailers love that information. They love pushing out those types of promotions. You'll be the first to know whether, a certain brand or a certain product's going on sale. So I think loyalty programs are big. Price comparison between the different retailers is big. And you could probably pull up kind of where certain products were on sale last year. And if it is a specific technology item, a TV or something along those lines, I think what you can do is look at what was on sale last year for Prime Day and during the summer, and when those brands ultimately introduce the next generation, because that's really where you start to see the heavy discounts. Other than that, it's going to be a promotional weekend, and I think this is kind of the unofficial kickoff for the summer. And so that is kind of that transition, and so you'll start to see more outdoor stuff, and I think that's where you're going to see that transition from spring apparel to summer apparel, and where you can find bargains is really going to be some of that clearance stuff on some of the spring merchandise.
All right, I saw the bottom tip on that graphic, which was be patient. Patience is a virtue. It's not my strongest one. Adam Davis, Wells Fargo Retail Finance Managing Director. Thanks so much for some of the tips and tricks for this big weekend coming up here. Thanks.
Appreciate it.